How do I stop comparing myself with everyone? I have a feeling that my friend is living the life of my dreams. I feel like I hate her with every fiber of my being. I know it's horrible, but I tried to be honest. So how can you stop yourself comparing yourself to others? Well, firstly, realize whenever you are comparing yourself to others and they are triggering you, it's because you're identified by whatever that very thing is. So let's say I'm identified by my career. If I see somebody on Instagram, on Facebook, doing really well in their career, if I'm coming from a place of lack, I will negatively judge that and infer the meaning that I'm not good enough. Making sense? So wherever you identify by, your judgments is making you feel bad. So the issue you're having right now is regarding your identity, not realizing who you really are. Because think about this. If you was to lose your career, if that's what you identify by, if you was to lose everything you call me, right? Will you still be there? The answer is yes, right? You will still be there. So what it means to identify, it means to make it the same. The same as what? The same as you. What it means to disidentify is to become aware of the things you're making the same as you, realizing it is not you. It's kind of like if you had a shopping cart that you believe represented you and you put something in your shopping cart, is that thing in the shopping cart you? Is that juice carton you? No, it's just something in your shopping cart. True, by the way. But not realizing this will get you to be attached to things that are not you. And unfortunately, the more we associate ourselves to anything, the more we're prone to emotional manipulation. Whatever you identify by controls you. Imagine, for example, you live in a country right now and somebody in your country was to burn your flag, country flag. Would somebody be quite annoyed in your country seeing that act? Would they be angry? Someone in your country seeing their country flag burning in front of them? Probably. Why? Because they're identified by where they're from. Making sense? But let's say you was to burn that same country in another country. Would the reaction be the same? Not as intense. Yes or no, by the way. And that's because whatever you identify by controls you. Yes? So anytime you're having a strong emotional reaction, you're going to ask yourself, what does this say about who I currently believe myself to be? Because remember, for you to feel like you're not good enough, you must have a standard of reference. Standard of reference is an important belief for you to deconstruct in your life, because without you deconstructing that, you'll always feel like you're not good enough. So what's a standard of reference? A standard of reference is your belief of what success is and who you are. So let's say, for example, you've got a belief of what a good enough person is. That's somebody who never makes any mistakes. Yes, standard. And let's say you've got a belief regarding yourself. You make mistakes. Let me ask you, how would you see yourself? Would you say you're good enough or not good enough? Which one? Not good enough, right? Following so far? So that means for you to say you're not good enough, you must currently have lodged in your mind a standard reference of what you believe success means. And you've also created a belief of what you are in relation to that standard. Anytime you're not meeting that standard, you feel like you're never good enough. Making sense? But it's worth noting that when we deconstruct this standard reference through the use of the LMA method from week 2 onwards, you'll notice a lot of this is irrational. It doesn't make any sense. And this is why you'll begin to almost smile with how much of a joke it sounds like if you were to break it down. What do I really mean? Well, some people said to me, Tim, my definition of somebody who's not good enough is somebody who makes a lot of mistakes. Let me ask you, does everybody make a mistake? Do you make a mistake? Do I make a mistake? You bet. So by that very definition, the standard, everyone is a freaking loser. So if everybody was a loser, you cannot possibly be a loser. Making sense? So once you learn how to deconstruct that standard, the story that's holding you back, you realize you begin to free yourselves, Not only that, you can support each other from the right place, right? Because some people are looking to develop themselves so they can be better than others, to preserve their ego, the self-created identity. But others are doing it because that's just a natural extension of themselves. You get to choose how you want to approach this game.